Okay, so here is the palette up close. I did decide that I will do swatches for all of them. My skin is medium toned, so I am going to also use the brush. And I do have a color switch, as you can see, so I will go ahead and swatch on my arm. Again, I'm a medium shade. And I did put primer on this half of my arm, and this half has no primer. And again, I did use the Urban Decay primer. So, and that is in the shade Eden. All right, so we'll go ahead and start out with the Looking Glass color from the Alice. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a good swatch of that. Okay, so again, that's Looking Glass. Very light. It's a good transition color, kind of like a highlight. It does have a little bit of sparkle in it, but very little. It looks more matte than anything. And this is Reflection. Again, another more matte color. Can't really see that. I did find with this row, you kind of really had to pack on the color in order to get any kind of payout, especially when using the brush. So there's that. I don't even know. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So again, this down here is without primer, and this is with primer on the top. Okay, and then cleaning off the brush, going into Dormouse. Go ahead. And there's that color. This does have a little bit of shimmer in it. Not a ton. When I was using it, I really didn't see the shimmer to that. There's that color. Okay. It's kind of a nice brownish neutral. All right, cleaning off. Then we're going into Metamorphosis. And my swatches are kind of funky because I'm at a weird angle here. And this in the swatch does look like it has some shimmer to it too, which I thought, especially when I was using it, it looked more like a matte, and I am not blending this very well. So there's that color. As you can see, without a primer, this really doesn't have a great payout at all. Okay, cleaning off, moving to Hatter. And this is definitely a matte shade. And this has a lot of color payout, especially when using that primer. And I am using a white piece of paper on the bottom of this so that when I am finished, I will show you the fallout. As with Urban Decay, you expect the fallout. This one I didn't feel like there was a ton, but definitely fallout. They're kind of mixed in there. And this one is Gone Mad, which looks a lot deeper in the palette. I don't know if you can see that fallout coming out, but again. Okay, then moving on to Paradox. This is a really pretty subtle orangey color. And there's that. Trying to get the lights in there. Really no payout without a primer. And switching. And then this was one of my favorite shades, which is Cake. But I did feel like, and as you could see here, I did really have to pack it on to get any sort of color payout. And as you're going to see, there's really not much color payout when you're not using a primer. I mean, it's still there, but not that great. Lily was, or is, my absolute favorite color from this palette. It kind of reminds me of, I believe the shade is Phantom from Makeup Geek. It's got that real iridescent. So I mean, if you are liking this shade, look up Phantom from Makeup Geek, and I'm pretty sure this is pretty much the same thing. Again, really need that primer, but if you can see, it's got a really nice iridescent color to it. I love that one. Okay, and I will need to switch. Okay, and as I was switching these, or actually removing these colors off, I did want to mention that some of these colors do stain, especially the cake color. That one I found very hard to get off. Okay, this one is Duchess, which I just really loved this row right here. This is by far my favorite. I just love the look that it gave. I love the iridescence to it all, especially this one's really pretty. I hope that it shows up. I'm gonna go back in. But this also has really beautiful iridescent shimmer to it. If you can see that. And again, really need that primer. The top has the primer. I hope my lighting's okay for this. To Kingdom. Which again, another favorite of mine. I'm trying to equally get that unprimered. This row I didn't have to really work too much to get that color payout, but I do use a primer. Love that. So pretty. And then going down to Chessboard, which is a great transition shade. It is a matte. And I did like this for a transition shade. I'm sorry, I'm being so sloppy. This has a ton of fallout. I don't know if you can see that, just see all that fallout going off. But this is a nice color. Really great for that transition. Okay, and then moving on to Heads Will Roll. This one does have a good color payout. Oops, a nice shimmer to it. A little bit of fallout, not too terrible for an Urban Decay darker color. So there's that. And this one, Batter Snatch. Okay, tons of fallout. I didn't really use this one too much. I kind of used it in my crease. But that's just got a ton of pigment in it. I mean, you almost can't really tell. You see that? The more you move it around without a primer, see how they kind of fall out? But if you've got a primer on there, it sticks. Moving on to Thousand Grum. I'm gonna have to watch the movie. I don't remember that name. This one I adore. Just a beautiful color, and it just like, it feels so creamy. Goes on beautifully. Look at that color. Oh, love it. It's just yummy. Look at that shine. And it just glides right on. Just glides. And then Royal Flush, here's another favorite of mine. It's great for a highlight. It's just a real pretty, shimmery, pearly color. Very pretty. Look at that. Love that shine. And love. Okay. And then moving on to the last, which is Time, which I feel like this is like the nightlife. Right here, look at that fallout. But I mean, okay, look at the fallout. Look at that. It looks like a black shimmer. However, it's got greens and blues and very interesting color, but I'm showing you as without the primer. You see how it just kind of, the more you move it around, it just kind of falls out. That's with all the colors. Look at that fallout. You know, it sticks in there, but you're going to get a lot of fallout with this color, which is Duchess. And I'm going to go in there pretty heavily because I just didn't get a payout at all for this one. Even finger swatching. I mean, look at that. There's really hardly any payout for this one. It's just kind of leaves a little shimmer behind. And I'm really packing it in there. I mean, just digging. Okay, and really just not a lot of payout. Well, you saw how much I had to go in there to get that payout right there. Okay, and then Chronosphere. And this is a nice shimmery brown, kind of coppery brown color. So again, nice color, lots of fallout. And then the last color is Mirror. And this is like a gray taupey. Oh my gosh, my swatches are a mess. Oh, it's fun. Alright, and there's that color. Oh, just a Nightmare Smash. It's kind of like a gray taupey. It's got a really pretty shimmer to it, so it's got a lot going on there. Alright, so that is the swatches, and here is the fallout. So that's just a ton of fallout you can see just from swatching them.